Caster Semenya, the quickest in the world this year.
Here comes Semenya, that 800-metre runner's strength is gradually easing them up. Is she going to get there? Surely she is. She does. Semenya takes it. 50.
Caster Semenya into the home straight. Semenya on her way to her 30th victory here. My word, is there any end to her talent? And she just...
Caster Semenya is a middle distance runner who has been successful on a global stage. Semenya has faced many challenges relating to her intersex condition, a condition which makes her body produce more testosterone than the average female. This video will outline what issues have risen from this situation, why they are issues, who's been affected, and lastly, draw on recommendations for future athletes.
Semenya also happens to be one of the most dominant middle distance runners of all time. She was the 800-meter world champion in 2009 and 2017 and was Olympic champion in London 2012 and Rio 2016. But her career has been tainted with questions surrounding her sex. The most blatantly obvious example was back in 2009 after becoming world champion, when the IAAF asked her to officially prove she was a woman. Imagine being asked that at 18 years old.
World champion athlete Caster Semenya says her rights as a woman are being violated. The athlete has faced scrutiny about her gender throughout her career. Reporter Lindiwe Sitori sat down with the athlete to talk about some of these huge challenges.
A world champion, businesswoman and philanthropist. This is Caster Semenya. Throughout her 10-year career, she's had to deal with questions about her gender, people calling her a man and demanding that she undergo gender testing.
Now, Caster Semenya has a condition known as hyperandrogenism, which means that she has excessive levels of male hormones. Testosterone levels that are 3 times higher than the average female.
The IAAF will have to prove that women, like Semenya, get a real performance advantage because of their male hormone levels. Semenya's team will call on their own experts to prove that is not true.
But now the IAAF says it has strong evidence to prove that athletes like Caster Semenya have an unfair advantage. So what exactly does the IAAF want when it calls for a level playing field? Well, under the current rules, a person with a difference of sexual development must be recognized by law either as female or as intersex. In the case of Semenya, a 2009 IAAF sex verification proved this. The IAAF say a female's level of circulating testosterone shouldn't be more than 5 nanomoles per litre in her blood. And that's the issue. A 2011 rule change saw Semenya bring her levels down to 10 nanomoles per litre. The regulations also say that the 5 nanomole per litre level should be maintained continuously. While Semenya's defence is that the proposed limits are flawed and hurtful for athletes.
And that eligibility rule is what Semenya and her lawyers are fighting to get changed. Because Semenya refuses to take medicine to lower her hormone levels, meaning she can't compete.
But it's not just that, testosterone determines so much. It's her muscle mass. It's, the strength and speed she's able to muster. It's hemoglobin levels. So, testosterone isn't the only factor, but there's so many other factors that stem from that level that she's able to produce.
So one of the things we need to remember is that while this is a regulation that would affect Caster Semenya, it's not exclusively about her. And it's based on an argument that women with higher than typical testosterone levels have a performance difference and that performance difference is unfair.
CAS, the Court for Arbitration for Sport, actually agrees with her, but
such discrimination is a necessary, reasonable and proportionate means of achieving the IAAF's objective of preserving the integrity of female athletics in some track events of international competition.
So how is it fair?
But it's also discriminating against the people she's racing against. We have to find ways round for both intersex athletes and for transgender women athletes as how they can be included. But we also have to work out how can we protect women's sport, because if we're not careful, in 10 years' time, all the world records will be held by men in the men's races and all the world records in the women's races will be held by people who have a Y chromosome.
Sebastian Coe sits atop of the IAAF and argues that he's advocating for a clean sport.
This is a very, very important day. The core value for the IAAF is the empowerment of girls and women.
Will it be easier for you if I wasn't so fast? Will it be simpler if I stopped winning?
Semenya's sponsor Nike featured her in its 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign. The advert seems to take aim at the IAAF.
Because I was born to do this.
Athletics South Africa then informed us he must go for a random dope test at the specific clinic at the specific time in Pretoria. She obviously felt that she was violated. She was blatantly lied to because they took her there under false pretense. Then also she told me that I've been for test again today. And that then was, really, that was just for me then too much.
Wilfred Daniels resigned in protest.
Le ka kwa ba bolela hore ha se mosetsana ke moshimane ke ile ka sebele bothata ka re ngwana o belewe ke nna motswadi ke ya tseba hore ke ngwanenyana ha se moshimane
a senke di tsene ka mo a ke robele mo rena re mmodi re be re mo leirela re mmona hore ke mosadi.
We are proud with Caster. The surname of Semenya is on top. Will be in the history of sports.
Caster's best friend Violet is a 1500-metre runner, also from Limpopo. She's upset by the effect the controversy is having on Caster.
I was crying a lot, and Caster told me that, what are you crying for? And she saw my tears many times. I've never seen her crying, never. I was told myself that I will make sure that she's always happy and she mustn't give up and she must stay positive.
A recommendation moving forward would be to continue to ensure that all female athletes, not just athletes with different sex disorder, regulate their testosterone within 5 nanomoles per litre, just to maintain the fairness throughout the sport. Also, if an athlete does not wish to comply with this policy and they are unable to compete in the female category, another recommendation would be that an athlete can compete in the male category or pursue another event with no restrictions, which can be seen in the case of Caster Semenya, as she is now aiming to compete in the 200 metres. Lastly, another recommendation for this issue is to have testing, rules and regulations that apply to all athletes, rather than just targeting women, specifically the ones with an X and a Y chromosome. If this recommendation was to apply, the target discrimination against women would subsidise.
I was taught the only way to love yourself is to accept yourself and appreciate yourself. I want them to believe in themselves, but the most important is that they must love one another.
We want to build a human before we can build an athlete, before we can build a leader.
When I grow up, I want to be like Caster.
You'll be like me, don't worry. I'll make sure of that.